can't imagine. Look in the mirror, my decisions stare.
Fear is the enemy. Whatever it is that you're going for, man, go hard. And hold on, never give up. You gotta have that mentality, man. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind, who you wanna be. I know who I am, know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. And that's word to my mom, word to my pops, word to my little bro. They said make your mistakes, but don't make excuses on why you can't live and learn. On a couple occasions I damn near went broke. I'm chasing this music thing, and I ran out of hope. I threw in the towel, said fuck the hole in the street. I kept on writing and touring. I picked up a job cause I knew it was important. The money I made, I would stash it away just to fund my recordings. And I didn't wanna stop cause I didn't know how. I would lay in my room by myself late at night and I finally figured it out. I just wanna be the best version of me, make all the music that I wanna make. I don't care what nobody gon' say. You miss all of the shots you don't take. And the answer is no, if you don't ask. If it gets hard, this too shall pass. God is my witness and he got the plan. He got the plan. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind, who you wanna be. I know who I am, know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. Yeah. Remember, man, you only in competition with yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Pleasure and pain. R.I.P. the greatest. 0824.
What's going on, people? It's your good buddy David. I am here for another episode of Circle Talk. It's still going down. This 23 days of Christmas is kind of a lot, but I'm enjoying catching up with old friends, meeting new people, and today is no exception. One of my good friends, Mr. Brandon Ervin, is in the building to share some insight and some knowledge on service, and not just service, but service during the holidays, and after. So we're going to get into that here in a minute. Why don't you go ahead and just say hello to the people real quick, Brand?
Man, I appreciate you, Brother D. Man, Brandon Ervin Sr. here in the building, but most importantly, just a servant here to help change the narrative, man. And when we think about changing the narrative, it's more about for your families, for our community, and really just self. One of the things I think that we never do is use time to reflect on self and self-care. So I appreciate you having me on the show today, brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, man. So first off, let's just give a huge shout out to the sponsors really, really quick. Got to get that out the way because they pay the bills around here. So we got to give them their credit where credit is due. First off, iShotza.com. Thank you so much, Marvin Patterson, for always being there for me. From top to bottom, side to side, he showed me the way, the truth, and he is giving me so much insight on this thing called work. You know, I started 20 some years ago working with this man, and you know, we still riding high. So if you guys need any pictures done, obviously you see the pictures behind me. Those were taken by him. And pretty much every picture on my wall has been taken by Marvin Patterson. If you guys need any photos done, headshots, you know, senior portraits, wedding pictures, whatever it is, hit up iShotto.com. He will get you done and get you done right. Icon ENT, thank you so much for your continued excellence in our community. Been running 18 years straight, and getting ready to move to Las Vegas here real soon. But we do appreciate you, brother, for always being a part of this and everything that we do. If you guys got any events coming up that you want to go to and you want to ride and not have to worry about, you know, getting a little bit tipsy and having to drive home, Marvin has the party bus extravaganza going down. So hit him up, let him know. He will get you there, and he get you there in style and hey, safe and sound. We're going to go over to the Chaya Movement. Zakia, thank you so much for all your continued excellence in our community. If you guys have not checked out Zakia and what she is doing, you know, throughout this community, she's turning rags into riches, and she's selling them at a really cheap price for you, an affordable price for you. All you have to do is go to the Chaya Movement or ChayaFashion.com to check out where she's at and where she's going to be popping up next. Last but not least, Intentions Juice and Smoothies Bar. Thank you, Marquita Evans, for all your excellence that you continue to do in this community. I am really excited to meet up with you next Wednesday for the Poetry and Intentions 1 year anniversary. Make sure you guys watch out for that. I will be going live from there. You know, it's going to be an amazing time. So if you have nothing going on next Wednesday, make sure you guys show up to Intentions Juice and Smoothie Bar on 52nd in South Tacoma Way. That's a whole mouthful, but you know, it's to be done. So enough about us. Let's talk about what's been going on in your life real quick before we jump into service, man. How's Brandon Ervin been doing since the last time we talked, man?
Yeah, well, you know, I think the last time we had a conversation, I was in Vegas. And during that time, I had really kind of kicked off the health kind of thing, right? And
yeah,
you know, moving from 1 mile to 3 miles to now 5 on a consistent basis, you know, doing that self-care piece.
yeah,
But then also in making sure that, you know, my family is the priority when it comes to extra time, right? I mean, who has extra time in today's world?
right.
But when you do have it, make sure that you emphasize the moments that you have with your family. And sometimes that doesn't only mean your immediate. It could be your family, parents, right? It could be your peers, your associates, and anybody that you feel like can pour into you. So for me, the last, you know, moments between the last conversation and now, I really just kind of poured back into the folks who've helped lift me up.
Absolutely. And you know me, I'm always peeking around and seeing what everybody's doing, even if I'm not saying much. I'm always making sure everybody's doing okay. And you have been doing some traveling, my guy. You obviously, you know, you was down there in Philly, and you know, I sent you a message as you was running up the stairs, letting you know how jealous I am of you for that. That's one on my book of, you know, things to do before I leave this earth. Let's just talk about that particular moment in itself. How did you feel when you was like, okay, this is where Rocky was filmed at?
Yeah.
You know, how did it feel to actually be there and run those steps?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's get to the actual location. We are talking
Yeah,
about Philadelphia, the grit city,
yeah,
and the true definition of like grind, right? And you know, to be able to recognize the rocky yes stairs, I think it was more the environment that
yeah,
everybody who was there getting close to the stairs knew that they had a task, and that task was getting to the top of those stairs with the mindset that you can overcome any obstacle in your life, man. And
absolutely.
you know, obviously for me, I had the opportunity to not just take my pictures and videos that I think I had posted. I actually ran them, right? And
Yeah,
I got a chance to like sit in the moment to go, man, this movie has been legendary. The individual boxer, you know, his story is so legendary. And then to kind of look out on, I guess, the city of Philadelphia, you realize that you're in a space, man, that lots of folks have overcome true obstacles, man. And I would have never thought, one, that I'd even be traveling to Philadelphia. Let's be very clear, right?
Yeah.
A Tacoma kid, Washington kid, SeaTac Airport seemed very far for us. So to be able to fly to the other side of the mountain, other side of the country, and then to be able to begin to idolize Rocky, right, and his story, I felt humbled, man, and I had no choice but to accomplish those steps.
Yes.
No
Yes.
pun intended.
Yes, yes. And as I'm kind of rewinding a little bit because I think it's very just trying something new. I'm trying something new with you because I
Yeah.
know you can stay with me right here. So I know you got it. So as we continue, you guys actually went there for a particular reason. Before we get into that, let's talk about draft day.
Yeah. Well,
Talk a little bit about that, man.
no surprise. I mean, with the Fly Eagles Fly hat.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, has become now what we would call a new space for us to develop our next leader as a professional athlete, and that's Keely Ringo. And fortunately, and the blessings that have come with his hard work and his journey, participating as a young man, playing college football at the University of Georgia, being a two-time national champion, and then having the ability to be drafted yet to the NFL. The draft process was a business. And I need to make sure that those folks who have family members who are student athletes, who are interested in entering that journey, your mind, your body, your spirit, all of that has to be in alignment to your goals. And watching Keely, come from Athens, Georgia, to Washington, to Seattle, Bellevue, and train in the rain, right, and train in sand pits, but also be directed by other professional athletes like Bobby Wagner, right, and having experiences with DK Metcalf, and obviously the facility that he worked with Ford Sports Performance and Tracy Ford. Honestly, it was mind blowing. But what I realized really quick is that if you've got a gift, you've got to take advantage of it and live in your purpose. And Keely every single day slept, ate, and I know I won't use this negative word, but SH and then asterisk. He slept in SH workouts, right? And the development, and having also one of our other management staff members who was a professional coach in the NFL, Coach Lopez, be his guide, right? Talking about the transition to the NFL. So, it was big. It was a big experience, and real shout out to the family, who was the agency that we decided to go with, and supporting, Cleo, who is a black male agent, right? I think sometimes we forget that this business, is about relationships, and it's always good to make sure that you're connected with folks who have true visions and outcomes in alignment like you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you not only are a big asset to this young man and his growing up and finding his lane and actually excelling and doing amazing right now. Shout out to him out there working hard, making it happen for one of the top teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
But you have a son that's playing too.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how he been doing. How did he do
Man.
this year?
Yeah, so first and foremost, go Abe's 253, black and gold. Obviously my wife and I, we met at Lincoln High School.
Yeah.
And then of course we created, the next generation of leaders, and it just so happens that Brandon Ervin Jr., had the opportunity to be a student and an athlete at Lincoln. And, it's been an experience, right? Being a coach and a trainer myself, being an advocate for life after high school, higher education, now having experience in the NFL, Brandon has been able to be exposed to the process. And for me to watch him almost 2 years ago now have a broken ankle with 9 screws and a plate in it, and come back within 65 days, be able to play in his high school junior year last year, and kind of overcome whatever obstacle people would say, and just do it with all humility. And then to move into a senior year, to be able to perform at the highest level, was remarkable. I'll be honest, as a father, maybe this is a father moment for some. I don't think I acknowledged that as often as I should have with him, right? Because we were just in grind mode, right? But the senior night was tonight, right? I think they had the banquet. I didn't get a chance to go because baby Chanel had practice, but I would have loved to be there to look, at all of his teammates and his coaches and be reminded that if you really want this, Brandon is a great example of what it takes to be able to shine. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And shout out to your son, man, for doing well and excelling at, I'm sure he did it the way he usually does it. And what's next for him? Does he have any plans as far as,
yeah,
college goes? He gonna be placed?
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
again, I have to be mindful of those folks who are parents or of student athletes, right? The recruitment process is real, right?
yeah.
For those who may not know, there are almost 3,000 Division II student athletes who are now in the portal, who don't have a home, who are like, hey, I played and I want to go to college somewhere. So then what that does is it trickles down to the current high school seniors who had aspirations to get a full ride scholarship somewhere, and coaches are like, well, you're still 17 and a half, and I haven't seen you on the field, and you're not proven. So some of those conversations switched a little bit for Brandon, right?
Right.
Early on, he had an offer to University of Nevada, and just recently he got a preferred walk-on opportunity to Portland State.
Nice.
But our conversation now is, hey, let's graduate early, right?
Yeah.
January and February, and let's get on the college campus and let them know, like, hey, I'm here. I'm academically prepared. I'm physically ready, and I'm ready to take somebody's job, right? And that's kind of been our attitude, man, the last few weeks, because once the season ended, it's time to transition to grind mode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you went and did an event. I think it was called Charting the Future.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Man, I don't know what it is for tonight, but I'm definitely prepared, brother David, because for me, I feel like I'm in draft day. My other hat that I'm putting on tonight is representing Graduate Tacoma. Those who may be aware, in Pierce County, Washington State, there's an organization known as the Foundation for Tacoma Students, where I get to lay in bed next to Dr. Brandon Ervin, who is the executive director, who has helped change the landscape, I think, really for Washington State, even though we're here in Tacoma.
Yeah.
And on over the course of the past few years, she's began to host conferences that have now been acknowledged across the entire country. And recently, we had the opportunity to host the conference that you clearly shared about charting our future, right? For the next generation of young students in the K through 20. And I'm not just saying elementary to high school. We're talking about college. We're talking about those in the apprenticeship programs. What does it look like next for you? And my wife has really done a great job in bringing in topics of discussion that not everybody's comfortable with, right? Earning the high school diploma, having financial aid and scholarships, getting a job and getting into the career field, and also having homeless communities, right? So what is it that our young people have aspirations for if they don't even know where they're going to eat the next day, right? So this previous conference allowed for that dialogue, but I also had the opportunity to sit on stage with Brother Malcolm, right? Malcolm Mitchell, who is an NFL retired athlete, University of Georgia athlete, but also is creating books, writing literature for our young people that can connect with them. So, sorry.
No, you good, man. You good. I mean, this is really what I'm trying to get this information out so that the people can hear it in case someone wants and they hear something they want to jump in and chime on. Please, whoever's watching, make sure if you guys hear something or you guys have a question for Brandon, don't hesitate to ask. We are going to be here chilling for a little bit with you guys and learning a little bit about this brother and all of the different hats that he wears and his family wears. I mean, obviously he just said his wife is one of the prestigious doctors, sisters too, in the state. So, I'm saying if you guys hear something that you would like, you have any questions about, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about service a little bit. Let's touch on some service.
Mm.
How important has service been to your family? Not just to your family, but you, because I know your heart. We've ran these streets a lot of times
Yeah.
together, and taking care of the community is something that we are very passionate about. How important is it to you to share these moments with your family, so
Mm.
not necessarily they follow the same path that you follow, but at least they see how important it is to give back, and not just give money, but just take some time to just say, you know what, maybe we can serve a meal here to this person, or give my friend or someone that I go to school with a ride home, whatever the case may be. How important is that to you and your family?
Well, brother David, man, I don't know what it is tonight, but I am prepared, right? With all of the ad libs, I guess, because my sweatshirt, I think, talks a lot about that. Um,
Okay.
I think about the ancestors that are on my shirt, brother Malcolm X, Harry
Yes.
Tubman, Martin Luther King, Maya Angelou, and Frederick Douglass, right? All of those are well known African American, prestigious, educated servant leaders, right?
Mhm.
Who wanted to ensure that access was provided to
Mhm.
anybody, and
Right.
not just those of color initially, right? But to anybody, to recognize that providing your service to other folks helps to like lift the minds, the hearts, and the spirits, so
Mhm.
that everybody feels what we would call equal. So obviously, for me, my foundation is this, right? And
Yes.
my commitment to the community has really been um, to remove all the assumptions that it's not possible, right, for a young man of color to be successful.
Mhm.
Because as you mentioned, running the streets back in Tacoma in the early 80s and the early 90s, right,
Mhm.
there were only two places you were going, and that was
Yeah.
Raymond Hall or a cemetery, right?
Yes.
So to be able to find ways to give back and stand on critical theories of changing narratives for
Mhm.
the African American community, I mean, that's been a true passion for me. But in that same space, I recognize that my white brothers and sisters, right, my Asians, right, my Asian descent folks, my Pacific Islanders, what up, Usos who are out there,
Yeah.
as well as my Latinx community, they are folks who are also like, hey, I'm here and I love people and I want to be seen. So we really find ourselves in the Ervin household, man, just being vessels, right, and saying, hey, your life is important, so come tell your story.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that as much as in in my life, I was having a conversation with this young lady before I even started talking to you, driving home from work, and we was talking about what a vessel is, what it entails,
Mm.
and this idea of color. um in my upbringing, and I don't mean to get into it, but I just give you a little sample of what we was talking about all this stuff that's going on in the world today. There's these bombs at the gate. There's thousands of people trying to come across the border right now. We're seeing all the wars across the country, and all of this stuff is happening. And to me, we were talking about what we're on this earth to do, and it made me really like condense it down to God put us on this earth to be vessels,
Mm.
live as Jesus lived when he walked this earth, so that when it is our time, our resume
Mm.
is set and ready for us to either go the right way or the other way. And we were just kind of going through that, and I was just thinking about that last little piece that you said about just being a vessel and serving and not just serving myself, but serving the people that are not only in my circle, but domino effect, so that we continue to service each other. And I just was, it's really something that's been on my mind. And yeah, I just wanted to just say that little piece before we moved on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I want to
Yeah.
make sure I do my due diligence as well, because I sit in multiple spaces, and
Yes.
recently, I've had the opportunity to serve my Native American community,
Yeah.
and as I've kind of watched your show on your journey, one of the things I think across the country, folks have taken kind of a heightened focus to acknowledge the lands that they are on. So I want to make sure that I also do that here and say thank you to our Native community for providing
Absolutely.
this beautiful space here in Pierce County, Washington State, the Puyallup, right? And really recognizing that there have been individuals who've come before us, and it's our opportunity and our need to acknowledge. So thank you to my Native community out there as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So let's talk about the holidays. What is something that, we're still on the service category, but when it comes to the holidays, what is something that you practice with your family when it comes to this word service? What is something that you guys kind of instilled as a family, that we as a family, we're going to do this every holiday?
Yeah. Well, service equals selflessness,
Mhm.
right? And when we think about selflessness throughout the holidays, Brother David, I have recently seen you driving by people's homes, dropping off gifts, and kind of surprising folks and just letting them know that you don't have to be my direct family and friend.
Yeah,
You just are someone that I want to make sure has a happy holiday.
absolutely.
That's selflessness, right? So for our family, obviously we've got children, and we find a way to get them gifts. And in their gifts, they're responsible for putting one of their gifts away and being prepared to give that to someone else,
Wow.
right? Now, obviously, mom and dad are like, "Hey, well, wait a second, that's a gift we really want you to keep." But what
Yeah.
that shows is the humility that those gifts and those items do not dictate who they are, right?
Yes.
And the selflessness of going out to our local encampment areas and providing them with food, right? My children are really well versed in making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right? So
Yeah.
they know how to package those up and hand them to our homeless community members, right? So we do that. And then vice versa, education. One of the things I think people forget is education is not just inside those four walls, inside the
Mhm.
brick and mortar building. Education is having a conversation,
Yeah.
pulling out a coloring book and actually coloring with somebody and taking a moment of peace to teaching them how to stay within the lines, right?
Yeah.
So my younger daughter at 5 this year, that's kind of my commitment to get her out there in front of our adults who just kind of need a space, right, of peace, and just having her pull out her coloring book, man, and just finding time to color with individuals, right, who may have a heavy heart, right, and sometimes that peace allows for them to be educated.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let me ask you something about just 2023.
Mm.
This is not something I even told you about, because I always have to have curveballs when I do my interviews. But when we look back to this year, and give me one
Mm.
word that described 2023 for you. Yeah, I didn't write this one down for you. Sorry.
Mm. Um, ooh, can I? You said one word, but I feel like,
You can elaborate on the word after you say it, of course.
okay, I got it. Because it'll tie into
Yes.
narrative. Narrative.
Okay.
That would be my word. Um, I had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. John Gaines,
Yes.
Antonio McElmore, Dr. Andre Stout, Brother Christian Page over the summer. And we began to quickly recognize that our community needed the narrative to change for our young people in our community, because we were losing young people to stealing Kias and cars, having weapons at young ages, and obviously the new drug fentanyl, right? So for us, narrative changers came about. And for me, as I kind of reflect on this year, there's still more work to do, but slowly but surely, when you have folks like you in the community telling stories and kind of leading by example, helping to change the narrative for especially in the industry that you're in, being a father and spouse, all those examples, I think our community at times just needs to see on a more consistent basis for them to have as a template. Because again, I'm always going to refer back to education. Some of our folks just need examples, right? So that then they can follow. Now, not every example is good. Let me be very clear. I am not the best at anything in life, but what I am is effort, right? I find a way to adjust from my mistakes if they come about, but I'll give you 199% effort to do the right thing.
Absolutely. Narrative. Good word. Good word. So I got another one for you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So when you think about, all of the amazing people that, I mean, this one might be a hard one for you. when you think about all of the amazing opportunities that you have had and people that have come into your life, name one person. I mean, you don't have to, to go too deep into it about this particular individual, but name someone that has really showed you that the way that they're moving is, really going to be a blessing to someone when they finally reach that place.
So
It could be a child, it can be an adult.
Yeah. D, I know that you kind of make mention that, this may be a curveball, but, there is a simple statement. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Yes. Amen to that.
I so happen to have a book back here and a few other books that I'll refer to, but the individual that I'm actually going to say is Pastor Eric Bowles, aka
Hey.
EB,
Yes.
assistant pastor at Life Center, but also president CEO of the Game Changers organization. And the book that I have is actually not Eric's, but why it's important to me in reference to Eric's is this book by Tony Evans, which is titled Kingdom Marriage, right? Pastor Tony Evans wrote a book titled Kingdom Men that was inspired to me from Pastor Eric Bowles as I was kind of going through life, right? Some of you may recognize that I've been married to my wife coming up here almost 10 years. But prior to that, as a young 20 some odd year old, I had multiple excuses about why I didn't want to get married or what marriage was. And I happened to be blessed with a fellowship group with Eric Bowles, John Kitna, Tony Brooks, Brother Loveday, Love Lady, and a few others. And through this discipleship group, I learned, right, how to grow up to be a man, a father, and of course, a husband. And some of the literature that we had been going through was through Pastor Tony Evans that was referred from Eric Bowles.
Okay. Shout out to EB.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
Y'all known each other a long while too. I noticed that. I know him for a little bit myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you refer to one individual, but I wouldn't be me, right? If I wasn't on this call as an educator and as a professional to maybe just kind of give additional suggestions.
Absolutely.
About how to continue to seek self, right, and really identify with my journey. I've got a book here, Caring Enough to Lead. I am a school administrator. That is kind of my by day and by night kind of piece, but I'm also an entrepreneur, have Urban Consulting as a business. And I recognize in the leadership industry, you've got to be able to withstand um, emotions from individuals who may not know how to actually compartmentalize their emotions and feelings. So sometimes you just happen to be the ear. So caring enough to lead in systems and environments that may be uncomfortable. Another easy one, right? Another easy one that I feel like anybody who's aspiring to be a leader or try to forge relationships with folks that may be uncomfortable. 48 laws of power. Come on, man. I mean, this has been referenced in movies, in music, hip hop specifically,
Yeah.
and of course with some of the top organizations, CEOs, presidents, and things like that. So I think as I refer to Eric Bowles, I also refer to some of the literature that I have kind of peeked my head into.
Absolutely, man. So anyone that's watching too, by the way, we'll make sure that all that information about the books, we'll get that into the chat for you guys so you can research it if you want to research and read up for yourself. Absolutely, we'll get that info for you. So what's next for you, man? Like last time we talked, you had said something about a surprise coming, and you've obviously changed. Like, tell me the big difference between what you were doing before over at TCC to what you're doing now. Has there been a big change or what?
Yeah. Well, I think, as it relates to the profession, right?
Yeah.
I think I've been a traditional K through 20 administrator, right, for some years. I've had some stints with Tacoma Public Schools. Shout out to all of those leaders and educators who are committed to our kids in Tacoma schools.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity to serve in Clover Park School District. Shout out to all those individuals who are in the Lakewood community, really, man, trying to love on those young people, man. And as of late, I think in our chat, I think a week ago with Brother Tony Andersack, I put in
Yeah.
there now serving at Chief Leshai,
Yes.
is one of our most exciting and humblest community in our native community right here on the backside of Puyallup. As a school administrator, I think my day-to-day work is natural and easy, right? I kind of walk in, I serve my kids, I attempt to build capacity in my adults who I'm working and walking alongside.
Yeah.
So my day-to-day is just what you see here, right? I try to just be as vulnerable, but also as authentic as I can. And then you kind of referenced Tacoma Community College. It would do me no service to not share that I have currently served as the president of the foundation board for Tacoma Community College. Really, that means, Ervin, I just raise all the money, right?
Yeah.
For the college.
That's amazing, though.
But I also have had a beautiful and amazing board who has been committed to that. And, now we're kind of launching into helping to build another building on the campus. So earlier you kind of referenced what's the new thing. It's really helping to bring the EMT industry to Tacoma. And within that, TCC is looking to build a new building on their campus. And our portion of the organization, the foundation, has been charged with helping to support that. So those who are TCC alumni or who even just had a class at TCC, I love for you to reach out. I love for you to connect, because not only will I be reaching into your pocket, right? But more so helping you to come tell your story, right? And recognize the importance of the local community college and how that's impacted your life. Some of our individuals in the community forget that TCC is just right here, and it's got so many opportunities, right, for you to explore. I know I have some folks who are online who I've talked to a lot about, like, just go back to go to school, right? Go
Yeah.
learn to reread, go learn to rewrite, go learn to calculate, because you may be a business owner and you're messing up on your taxes, right? Like,
Yeah.
go into that local college, man, and get the support you need so that you can be fluent in your industry or in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm actually a TCC alumni, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but
I we know now.
clinical psychology, back in 98, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But, one of the things that I really want to say, man, is to me, I think you are an amazing person, man, and I really love the way that you have always carried yourself with, just a sense of confidence, but um, not the type that scares people away. You're always inviting, always willing to talk to any and every person. You've always had that kind spirit about you, man, and I really do appreciate you for always being that way. Even when people weren't necessarily the nicest,
Yeah.
you still took the initiative and said, "I'm gonna take the higher road," even
Yeah.
for those that try to take jabs or whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, this year, I decided to create this thing called the Circle Talk Awards.
Hmm.
And for me, I picked 10 different categories. And I'm actually going to put you on the spot just to see what you say. But I was going to ask you if you could think of the, let's see, the DJ of the year.
Wow.
Who would you choose as your DJ of the year? You've been to a lot of events. You know a lot of these DJs.
Mhm.
Which one would you choose?
Man, when you say put me on the spot, that is. I have an easy answer, but I want to give context first.
Okay.
So my easy answer is going to be DJ Don G, aka Don Don, Lincoln High School alum,
Yeah.
and has really taken a hold of the DJ industry.
Mm.
Now that said, before
Yes.
there was DJ Don G, I have to make sure I give a shout out to DJ Kareem Supreme, aka
Absolutely.
Kareem Razak, right?
Yeah.
I think, for some of our folks in the area, Kareem has just been consistent. And
Absolutely.
obviously I know he's happily married and
Yeah.
coaching and doing all these other things. So I think the DJing kind of took a back seat. But I think there was a time where everybody knew called Coach Kareem or DJ
Mhm.
Kareem. But DJ Don G right now, he's the guy. I think he's able to code switch as it relates to different cultures and needs for their music. He's got these glasses. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish I had them, but he's got these glasses, man, that actually record the parties, right? So that
Wow.
he can post them to those individuals who are having him host. And I think to be able to change with today's world and be tech savvy and kind of be up to date is a big deal when it comes to DJing, because we all know you can grab your cell phone and download the
Yeah.
Apple iTunes or whatever listed is and play it, but he's relevant. So shout out to DJ Don G for being
Yeah.
my top DJ in the
Hey,
area.
you know what? And I'm just gonna piggyback on that really quick. I love DJ Don G because of his drive to take care of the kids, bro. Like he did the fishing event. My son was at the fishing event this year, and he had a blast. Caught him a little fish, but he enjoyed himself. And Don G and the homeboy Carl and there was a couple other people that was helping him out with it this year, but they have consistently started this thing, and it's been going for 5 years straight. They've been doing it, and it's such a beautiful thing to see because you don't see a lot of people actually doing stuff like that, like putting together fishing parties for the kids. I mean, events for the kids. It was amazing. He also did. I think he did Juneteenth.
Mhm.
He did an event at at, I can't remember what park it was, but he did an event at the park where, kids were out there having a wonderful time. They had some exercise, people out there doing their thing. But DJ Don G is the basketball tournament. He did the basketball tournament as well. Like the man he's taking DJing to a whole nother level. He's taking his platform and excelling out to different places so that people know that, yeah, I love DJ and I love making music for whatever party it may be, a wedding or a dance event or a school, end of the year party, whatever the case may be. But I'm also putting my hands in these other things, come and check out these other events where I'm, helping out the community. I'm doing a community feed where I'm just going to come out and, play music and, support everyone else. Like, he's not just a DJ, he's a community guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing about watching him do his thing, because there's a lot of them that aren't. And for me, that's a great pick. I mean, I may have to second you on that one for a show.
Good. And I think one of the other pieces folks may not realize, DJ Don G has actually had, I wouldn't say gigs, but maybe like a standing space inside Macy's, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, that right there tells you that he's got the ability to cross over.
Major move. Shout out to Don G if you're out there watching, brother. So this is what I want to do. I want to give you your flowers. And, you didn't know this was coming, but I'm going to do it because, when I think about, the Circle Talk Awards, and I think about people that are doing amazing things in the community and, they deserve to be recognized. Bro, I got to tell you, you one of the best dressed dudes I know. And I mean, I don't never see you wearing nothing flyer than fly. I mean, you always fly, bro. I mean, anywhere you go, the all white party, fly out. All black party, you fly. It don't matter. You do it, bro. Like, you always got the fresh digs. I wish I could wear some of the stuff that you wear and look the way you look. You look good, man. You look amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's be very clear. Behind any good-looking husband is a beautiful wife, man.
Yes.
And I've got to make sure that my attire is in hopes to resemble and mirror the way that Dr. Ervin walks out of this house. Because, boy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I'm tight, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate the shout-out, man.
Game recognized game, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you. So, I mean, you got the best dress of the year award from your boy DH. I'm going to sit on a plaque to you, I got you. But, hey, man, so such a great time, man. I always enjoy sitting down, conversating with you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, Brother D, one of the things that I've kind of recognized during this holiday season is kind of your theme of service. And I love to know, when is it that you are making these decisions to go out to make these home drops? Because the Ervin family would love to join you.
Oh, man. So this is the deal. And for anyone that's watching, we haven't even really touched on it, but and I do apologize, but we have this is our 4th annual Secret Christmas gift giveaway. And right now we are raising money for that cause. I actually got $200 donated to the cause today. So shout out to you people that have threw some money into the pot so that we can go and purchase these gifts for these children. Guys, let me tell you, there's been hundreds of people that have hit me up literally in 2 weeks about things ways that they could use a little bit of assistance, whether it's a toy for their daughter, clothes for their kids. It's just been so much need this year, and I am truly blessed to be in a position where people see my drive to try and help others, see my determination to do my best to be a vessel, like we had talked about earlier, and serve our community. So what the plan is, this is what I do pretty much every year. go pick up the gifts on the 23rd of December, and then on the 25th, I deliver them. After I do my time with my family, I go out and deliver them actually on Christmas Day. And usually, unless they're not in the area and I have to, mail it to people, I usually try and mail it to them, at least a week or two in advance, so that they know it's coming. But a lot of it is surprise. I usually hit them up and say, okay, what would you need? How can I best service? How can we best service your family? And they'll usually give me a response, and I'll be like, okay, let me see what I can do. And a lot of times I'll just surprise them, hit their doorbell, and then drop it on there. So that's December 25th is when we do the actual giving away. But we're actually going to go to a Walmart, either here or there, Puyallup or Tacoma. And I usually go live and just go in there and just purchase all the things that the people that we chose to service this for the year. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes down. So
that's good. And then maybe my last question for you is,
sure,
how to support you, man? And outside of the Circle Talk specific,
yes.
So I see you, right? I see you, and hold on, I see you, right? How can we support you?
For me, man, I'm just trying to do my job as a person that loves the Lord. And I don't mean to take it to church, but I need to be real about who I am and why I'm here. I was given this platform because he told me to do this. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So for me, I just, every once in a while, just a simple, hey, how you doing? Maybe go for a walk with me, or maybe I'll go for a run with you. But just being in my ear every once in a while reminded me that we're gonna get through this together. Because sometimes I be having those dark moments at night, and it's okay because I know I'm gonna get through it. But it's always nice to have someone to just say, what, how you doing today?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
And so I mean, just stay in my ear, bro. Like we got to continue to love each other and lift each other up, and anything you do for me, know that I'm gonna do the same in return. That's how I operate. You know what I'm saying? Like, all love. I love everybody. Even my enemies. If you're out there watching, I love you too. But every once in a while, just hit me in my inbox. You know what it is, man. Like, we can go out and grab a bite to eat and just chop it up. Just need to be loved. We all need a little bit of love every once in a while. I'm solo dolo, bro. I've been by myself for a little bit, and I'm okay because every day is a new opportunity to heal and be better and get better and do better and just continue to be thankful for the life that I have. So just be a friend. That's all I really need right now is just, friends, true friends. I got a lot of fair weathers. So, that's me, man. That's me in a nutshell.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I've got maybe two quotes, if that's okay. I maybe leave
Yes.
that maybe kind of align to what you're saying. It's a simple one. People treat you how you let them, right? As you think about relationships, it's really up to you to kind of recognize your boundaries, your needs and your wants in relationships, friendships, etc. And the longer that you go on allowing folks to treat you a certain way, they get conditioned to that as well. So it's kind of up to you, right, to kind of set boundaries and expectations and evaluate. So that's one. And then my other is be the holder of your peace, but also be mindful of who you share that with, right?
Absolutely.
So no surprise, you have a very external lifestyle and brand, meaning people are attracted to you, right, and what you do. But in that same moment, right, you've got to kind of be mindful, right, about who actually is attempting to come into your life, because they may not be in the right season for you. So Brother
Absolutely.
D, man, I pray for you.
Yes.
I
Appreciate
care for you and your journey, and I just look forward, man, to continue this fellowship and
it. Yes.
participate and be involved with Circle Talk, man.
Hey, man, and next time y'all have a men's meeting,
Yeah.
hit me up, bro. Hit
Uh,
me up. I need all of that. I need all that, bro. Real
yeah.
talk. Like, um, I'm gonna try and get down to Mr. Gatewood's
Yeah.
iron sharpens iron
Yeah.
because that dude been working.
He been working. Yeah. Been
He
working.
been working, and I love that brother to death for the changes that he made in his life,
Yeah.
and I just love to see good people make better decisions with their lives before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Brian Gatewood for continued, his continued excellence with, just trying to better the kids. I mean, all of the kids in every way, shape, or form. So keep doing what you guys are doing, man. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thank you, bro. I mean, thank you for everything. Thank you for the conversation about service. And what can we expect from you moving into the 2024 year?
Well, first, physical fitness. Let me be very clear.
Yes.
To have a clean body allows for me to continue to chart in the direction that I am kind of focused on. So you'll continue to see a few of these walks and runs, but I think I'm moving into the phase now to start showing some of the videos of me actually working out,
Hey.
and kind of putting on some examples of the journey. But I think as it relates to the true heart, mind, and spirit, continue to grow my family. I'll be having a high school senior here graduating, so he'll be out of the house.
Yeah.
I'll be having my eighth grader going into high school. He'll be becoming another young man leader. And then my princess, she'll be going into school next year.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, but none of that um, would be as smooth or as heartfelt as it should be without enjoying my spouse and my wife. So
Yeah.
we've kind of committed, man, to taking care of each other, right? I'll be traveling to Philadelphia, as you know, watching the big guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but a lot of that time is going to be spent with my wife and earning my best friend's love, right? I want to make sure I acknowledge because Anthony was on the Circle Talk a week ago, just talking
Yeah.
about a relationship with his spouse. But my wife is my best friend, man, and I've got to continue to pour into that because she
Yes.
knows me, right, and vice versa. I've got to continue to know her. So I think you'll see a lot of that over the next year. And then I think professionally, to no surprise, I think Ervin Consulting, you'll start to see some things externally facing. One of the things most people know, we don't really talk about our personal business. We just kind
Yeah.
of do our contracts and keep rolling. But you may see a little bit of that. And then, of course, Mr. Ervin being Principal Ervin at the buildings where I'm serving,
Yeah.
uplifting my native community and letting them know that, they've got a lot more access and opportunity to be present here in the local area. So,
Well, good for you, man. I wish you all the best, you and the family. Shout out to the wifey again, Doctor Fauna
mhm.
Irvin. Thank you so much for taking care of my guy, and I hope and pray that everything continues to move in the right direction for you and your family, brother. And obviously, we're gonna connect and get together for one of these runs, and I'm gonna see what you're really working with because
Hey,
I be seeing the walks. I be seeing, I see those.
get up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come out for one of my Monday run days, and let me take you for a spin down on the waterfront.
Oof.
That's my location, bro. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
But one of these days we'll get it. But anyways, let's get into what's on tap. 23 days of Christmas until Christmas continues tomorrow with Chris Crazy. He's going to be in the building. And a lot of y'all don't know it, but I've known Chris since he was probably about 14, 15 years old. And we're going to jump in and talk a little bit about that, a little bit about, his change in his life and and wanting to see his community build up.
Yeah.
And we're going to touch on some things that he's not ready for, but we have to talk about it because we have a lot of friends that have come and gone. So we're going to touch on some pretty important stuff. So if you guys get some free time tomorrow, we'll be together 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to take over with Chris Crazy. And then Saturday, you guys got to tune in as well because I'm going back to choir too. I'm going to meet up with this young lady that family decided to help me when I had nothing. And that's going to be a hard one for me because it takes me back to a time when things were really rough, but someone decided to take a chance on me. So we're going to talk about that. Jessica Fahey will be in the building on Saturday. So make sure you guys tune in. 23 days until Christmas will continue. Also, if anybody would like to donate, hit the Cash App below. It's Cash App, Circle Work, 24/7, 365. So we can get these presents for these kids and, change some lives this year. All right. So thank you again, Brandon, for coming through. We'll talk again real soon. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Appreciate
Be blessed.
You.
Peace.
In the ups and downs, you always been around. Is it gonna end like this? Not